Growing up with narcissist parents is like living in a movie where you're the main character, but somehow you're never allowed to have your own script. It's the kind of childhood where you're taught to smile, stay quiet, and never outshine the star of the show, which of course is them. Behind every perfect family photo, there's a quiet, invisible pressure, one that turns confident kids into anxious adults and loving children into lifelong peacekeepers. This is the unseen pressure narcissistic parents place on their children, the pressure to be perfect, to please, and to never need. But here's the truth. They didn't raise you to love yourself, they raised you to serve their ego. And that realization is where healing begins. Narcissistic parents are masters of emotional manipulation. They use guilt like it's an art form. If you succeed, they take the credit. If you fail, they make it your fault. Either way, you never win. It's like playing a video game with invisible rules that change every 5 minutes. One day you're the golden child, and the next, you're the disappointment. The covert narcissist parent is even trickier. They wear kindness like a mask. They'll say things like, "I sacrificed everything for you," while conveniently forgetting they're the reason you had to emotionally grow up at 10. They want everyone to see them as the saint. But you see the side no one else does, the silent treatment, the guilt trips, the way they rewrite history to make themselves the victim. The most dangerous part isn't what they do. It's what you learn to believe. You start thinking love has to be earned. That peace means silence, that your feelings are too much. And before you even realize it, you've been trained to doubt your own emotions. That's emotional manipulation at its finest. It makes you apologize for things that weren't even your fault. And let's not forget the constant competition. Narcissist parents don't like seeing their kids become confident adults. Why? Because your growth threatens their control. So they throw subtle jabs disguised as advice. You get a promotion, and they say, "Don't get too proud." You share your feelings, and they say, "You're being dramatic." It's their way of keeping you small enough to fit inside their comfort zone. The unseen pressure also shows up in decision-making. You second-guess everything, from your career to your relationships, because somewhere deep down you were trained to think you can't trust yourself. That's not bad luck. That's trauma bonding. Narcissist parents condition you to rely on their approval for validation. So even as an adult, you catch yourself asking for permission to just exist. But here's where the transformation starts. The moment you recognize this pattern, you begin to break it. You start seeing that their criticism was never about your worth. It was about their insecurity. Their silence was never about your guilt. It was their control tactic. And their constant "I did everything for you" speeches. That's just their way of rewriting your story, to make themselves the hero. It's funny in a sad way. You spend years thinking, maybe if I'm better they'll finally be proud, only to realize they were never proud, because pride in you would mean less spotlight for them. That realization stings, but it's freeing. It means you don't have to perform anymore. You don't have to win invisible battles for validation that will never come. You can finally step off their emotional stage. And when you do, something magical happens. You start to breathe differently. You start setting boundaries without guilt. You stop over-explaining yourself to people who never listened anyway. The peace that used to feel uncomfortable now feels like home. You start realizing that the love you kept chasing was never supposed to come from them. It was supposed to come from within you. So if you grew up under the invisible weight of narcissistic parents, understand this. You were never too emotional, too lazy, or too dramatic. You were just living in a world that rewarded you for shrinking. But now you get to rewrite that story. You get to expand. If this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Like and subscribe, because the more awareness you gain, the less control they have. Keep healing, keep growing, and remember, you were never the problem. You were just the one brave enough to see it.